Why are you so lean? Don't you have enough to eat at home? These were the questions that some people threw at her whenever she went outdoors. Those were the words that tore her heart apart. She was just a young girl. What wrong did she do? Her name was Amanda, a young girl in the eastern side. She had a graceful smile and dimples so deep. She had the brightest smile, and her eyes, they were deep and sharp. Her eyes seemed to smile also. She had the most beautiful pair of eyes. People always smiled back at her, even strangers and little babies. Amanda lived in the city. She didn't stay in the village with her mom, dad, and siblings. She was an adult and she stayed alone. She grew up with her parents as a child and then moved to the city to further her education. She worked several jobs to try and make ends meet, providing for her needs, feeding, shelter, and sending some money back home for her family. Her days were always busy. She barely had the time to rest and pamper herself. Amanda worked as a waitress at a roadside restaurant. It was a very demanding job, and her class schedules at school didn't tally most times with work hours. The stress was much, and yet she had to work at a pure water industry on weekends. Her madam, Mrs. Vero, was very demanding and selfish. She treated her workers with contempt. She was a rude woman. Her pay was not worth the stress at all. People who worked for her always quitted months after receiving their salaries. Everyone in the neighborhood knew her and her tactics. The little children nicknamed her Madame Stingy Vero. Rumors had it that she was gathering the money from her business to pay back the huge loan her teenage son borrowed from a dreaded tout living around the area. Amanda was wise enough to follow her madame's ways with caution. She was one of the few waitresses that had remained in the restaurant for months. Amanda knew that she desperately needed the pay, and she counted that with the little tips she got from customers who liked her. Madame Vero was fond of Amanda. She treated her with a bit of grace because Amanda attracted customers with her charming smile and elegance. She had also made so much sales since the day she let Amanda work for her, and to her belief, Amanda carried grace. There was a wealthy middle-aged man that always visited the restaurant on Wednesday nights. He ordered more plates of the Nigerian jollof rice and salad, sometimes the native abacha. He barely finished all the plates he ordered for. He was known to spend lavishly. On his first visit, he had developed a keen interest in Amanda. Her calm but graceful demeanor had drawn him to her, and now his visits most times were to get closer to her and win her affection. Amanda turned him down on every attempt of asking for her number. From the rumors she heard about him, he was a hot-tempered man, and some people said he had chased his wife and 3 kids away and was looking for his next victim. Madame Vero always encouraged Amanda. She pressured her to accept his request for friendship, but Amanda had made up her mind not to involve herself with anything concerning him. Can't you see that he is a rich man? Forget what people say about him and marry him. His riches can take care of you and your family. This is a rare opportunity. Don't miss it, Madame Veronica would say every Wednesday night after Amanda turned his pleas down for a deeper connection. By month's end, Amanda didn't receive her salary. She became worried. When she confronted Madame Vero, she promised to pay her in no distant time. Amanda waited patiently on the first week. No pay. Second week, still no pay. She didn't know what move to make. This was the first time Madame Vero held their salaries for up to that period. Madame Vero looked bothered. Something seemed to be off. Amanda could sense the tension in her moods and words, but knowing her madam, she wouldn't open up to anyone, much more her workers. 2 months passed and no news or call-up meeting concerning their salaries. Some workers had stopped coming to work already. Some swore at Madame Vero for being wicked, but Amanda remained patient, hoping for good news soon. One morning, it dawned on them as to why their madam had been a bit off for some time. The street touts had come for their money. They vandalized her properties, seized some chairs, tables and pots. There was a huge commotion. Madame Vero pleaded with the guys to be patient and she would pay up her debts soon. But they rained curses on her and promised to seize her shop keys when next they visited. Amanda felt hurt and pity for her madam. She consoled her. She wished she could be of help to her financially, but she was far from it. Madame Vero was scared. She called her workers that night and gave them part payment. She apologized and asked that they bear with her. She told them to quit if they had somewhere better to work. That was her honest opinion. Amanda began applying for jobs at different eateries or firms. She applied as a part-timer and wrote clearly in her application letters that she was a student. The search was a tough one, but she finally found a perfume and cosmetics firm. She was given the job as the receptionist. It was her captivating smile that graced her into the job's criterion of selection. She had ironed her corporate wears and bought new black shoes as demanded by her employer. The perfumes and oil business was a lucrative one, and her boss, Miss Rebecca, was a wealthy spinster. She was gorgeous, and her skin gave her away. It glowed and spoke more volumes than words could ever do. She only dealt with expensive perfume brands, importing them from overseas. Her clients were the top-class socialists, mostly rich ladies from all over Africa. She had given Amanda the rules and criteria for working at her firm, which included neatly ironed corporate wears, well-made hair, elegant composure and poise, and lastly, which she said, sounding very sarcastic, was that she was too skinny and needed to fat-feed herself to make clients see her as worthy of the job given to her. She even went as far as suggesting dietary changes for weight gain. She sent Amanda links and YouTube videos on how to gain weight easily. All her taunts fell on deaf ears. Amanda was not bothered because she anticipated the salary at month's end, which was a whopping sum of 150,000 naira. She knew how far that money would go in sorting her bills and sending back home to her family. She was enthusiastic, ready to begin her new job on a bright Monday morning. She dressed in her overly sized t-shirt and skirt as instructed by her boss. She was warned not to resize it as she would soon grow into its fitting. As Amanda arrived at the gate, the gatesmen, cleaners and clients at the entrance to the building all looked at her with wondering eyes. She checked herself from her shoes to her white shirt. Everything looked perfect, so why the surprised look from every angle, she wondered. As she walked into the office walls, she heard whispers from the two chubby ladies from behind. Who could she be? She's so lean. Do you think she's a worker here or just here to deliver some stuff? She looks malnourished. Amanda pretended that she didn't hear a word they said. She worked the entire day with smiles. More clients came and she attended to them as professionally as she could. New clients came and they loved how jovially she was towards them. She had made the air welcoming for all clients. Miss Rebecca heard how nice she was towards her clients and she was impressed. At lunchtime, Amanda joined the other employees at the canteen downstairs. She opened her mouth in awe at the wonderful meals they were served. Chicken, vegetables, proteins, and milkshakes. It was well garnished. She was perplexed by how rich it looked. She was even more surprised when she heard that was how well they ate every other day, and the meal payments were not included in their monthly salaries. Amanda's thoughts had been answered. That was the reason they all looked fresh. They were well fed. Amanda loved her new job even more. She was always dreaming about the meals she ate on a daily basis at work. Those were like the best meals she had in her entire life. She stood in front of the mirror one morning and looked at her slim stature. All the meals were not giving results yet, she wondered. Well, with time, I will gain more healthy weight and be more like my colleagues at work, she said, smiling. Whenever she went to the local market, young guys winked at her. Children she didn't know hugged her and called her beautiful. But at work, the comments were different. They kept saying she looked hungry and needed more fattening drugs. Amanda wondered why the hurtful comments at work. Or was there a policy that said all workers in the firm must be fat-fed? It sounded ridiculous to her. It became her routine to stand in front of the mirror at home and check if there were any improvements. She began thinking they were right and she did look hungry, thinking about where she came from and how much she worked her butt off trying to survive. That was her reason for not gaining weight. There was a shift in her self-esteem. She began avoiding social gatherings and church activities on Sundays. She only went out of the house when she wanted to go to work or lectures at school. Amanda became intentional about gaining the thickness they compared her to. She started with the egg journey on weekends. She ate one egg every weekend, but there was no result in 2 months. She began eating eggs twice a week, but nothing changed. She went online and dropped questions on YouTube weight gainer content. She chatted with ChatGPT every day on what to eat to get the plus body size. She tried all the dietary changes and still no improvement. Amanda had changed from the jovial and unbothered lady who welcomed clients with a heartwarming smile at the reception to becoming self-conscious about her slimmer body size. She asked her female colleagues for secrets to gaining weight, and she tried all the recipes, yet no results. Then one day, she scrolled through social media and there it was, the little bottled substance, very expensive. The price tag shone brightly on her screen, 300,000 per bottle. The advert popped up immediately. Purchase a bottle of Vera's body weight gainer and give your testimonies in a month's time. She scrolled through the comments and saw positive reviews. Many comments were about others. It all seemed too good to be true. Amanda thought about how expensive it was, but she consoled herself that a bottle would hopefully yield positive results like the lady mentioned, and so all she needed was just one bottle. The other link was at the top right corner and Amanda tapped on it. She was directed to a platform where she was free to pour out her concerns concerning the product, and all her questions were replied quickly. She then hit on the purchase button and made payment. The next morning, the delivery was brought to her door. She received it excitedly, her heart beat loudly within her chest. She was nervous. She hurriedly went to the kitchen and mixed a drop of the solution in a cup of warm water as directed by the lady online. She gulped it down her throat in a second. She expected to develop a running stomach in about an hour. That was one of the side effects of the substance she took. 15 minutes later, she rushed to the toilet with a runny tummy. Amanda used the toilet a couple more times for the entire day. At the late hours of the night, she became very hungry. Her tummy rumbled. She had never been this hungry before. She knew it was the drug at work in her belly. She hurriedly prepared noodles with 3 big eggs and ate quickly, barely chewing a bit of it. After eating, she fell asleep on the sofa. Around the early hours of the morning, she woke up very hungry again. This time, the intensity of the hunger was more. She rushed to the kitchen and made a big bowl of eba and her favorite vegetable soup with periwinkles. In 5 minutes, the entire plate was empty. Amanda stood in front of her mirror and she noticed how full her cheeks were, unlike before. The results were evident already on her. She felt relief. The payment she made was worth it. That day, she went to work with a different kind of confidence, which seemed to have disappeared some months ago. Her colleagues at work complimented her about her body changes. They noticed she was a bit fuller than she used to be. Her boss smiled at her from the balcony. She was glad that her employee was finally fitting into her standard body type criteria. Amanda ate several plates of rice and turkey at work. She drank yogurt and fresh drinks. Her appetite seemed to be expanding every single minute. When she got home, she slept off and woke up by midnight to continue her routine eating habits. Amanda ate more foods every passing day. She increased the dosage of the drugs. She began sipping it morning and night. Her body changed tremendously. She had gained extra weight in just 2 weeks. She loved what reflected at her from her mirror. Her clothes became undersized and she bought bigger ones from the boutique. Her skin began glowing also. This was all like a dream to her. Now, all the hurtful comments at work would stop. She said to herself, "They want the extra body size, right? I will give it to them and more." She laughed hysterically. A month later, Amanda ordered another bottle of the substance. She continued the morning and night dosage till she emptied the second bottle also. Then she bought the third bottle. "I think I'm okay with this bottle. I love my body this way," she thought. She exhausted the last bottle of the substance. She became obsessed with her looks. Amanda was so gorgeous that she demanded respect by her presence alone in any gathering. People called her Madame, as that was the title suitable for her. It all came on the downside one day. She woke up in the morning and her tummy was folded in layers of fat. She gasped, "How could this be? What is going on with my body?" "But I stopped taking the drugs for a while," she thought to herself. Her appetite didn't change a bit. She still felt as hungry as she was the very first day she swallowed the substance. Her tummy rumbled in pain. She couldn't help but rush to the kitchen and prepare a big bowl of jollof rice. That evening, She had gained even more weight than she did in the morning. The tummy folds multiplied. Her arms became fuller, almost like the Christian mother hand as they usually called it. Amanda became very scared. Her body was betraying her. She stayed indoors for days. Going to work would not be possible because her clothes tore in an attempt to put them on. Now, when she walked on the streets, people looked at her with disgust. "What happened to you? Are you okay, dear?" Neighbors asked worriedly. Amanda bent her head in shame, and tears filled her eyes. Amanda had no choice than to accept her body for what it was now. The mistake was made from the moment she decided to give in to the hurtful comments of people who saw her framework as a disgusting art. On Sunday, after service, she stood in front of the ladies, young and old, and began saying, "You all know me to be a slim lady before, but now most of you don't even recognize me." She chuckled sadly. "I was unwise. I listened to the words of others I should have ignored. Take a look at me now. I'm very different from what I was some months back. Body shaming is the thief of confidence and self-esteem. Love yourself. Cherish yourself. Don't try to change a thing about your appearances because you are beautifully created by your maker. He makes no mistakes. Don't make the same mistake I did. I can't undo what I did, but I can enlighten other ladies with love. Take care of yourselves and remain healthy." She broke down, crying, after her heartwarming speech. Hey fam, this is African Folktales by Vivy. I hope you enjoyed the story. Please do well to like and share with your dear ones. Don't forget to subscribe also. See you in my next story. Bye.